Graphing calculator project, video 9. Oh no, I can't see my line. Mrs. Tucker, I can't see my line, but I don't have an error. Well, I know exactly what's wrong if you can't see your line and you don't have an error. Okay, let's say that's your line. Okay, and here I've got my line of programming, and it says I want to graph from an x greater than or equal to 8 and less than or equal to 10. Well, your domain restriction turns on, let me grab my pen. Your domain restriction says turn it on at an x of 8 and graph it to an x of 10, which is from here to here, but that's way off your display screen. That's why you can't see your line. So watch out for those domain restrictions. All right, let's look at the next slide. Here's another reason why you might not be able to see your line. Okay, I've got a domain restriction that says turn on my line at an x greater than or equal to 5 and turn off my line at an x less than or equal to 2. Well, here is 2, here's an x of 2, and here's an x of 5. Can you see that? Let me use my pen here. Here's an x of 2, and here's an x of 5, but your problem is this right here and this right here. What you're trying to tell it to do is turn on at an x greater than or equal to 5, which is going in this direction, and turn off at an x less than or equal to 2, which is going in this direction. You're trying to graph in two opposite directions, and your calculator isn't going to want to do that for you. So watch out for those domain restrictions. If you can't see your line, but it doesn't give you an error, your problem is your domain restrictions. Okay? Last minute things. No calculators in hands until 1. The student draws a picture on the grid. The teacher approves the sketch of the drawing on the grid paper. Okay? That's the first step. I'm going to give you a star on a chart when that step's done. Students are to fill out the chart of equations. The teacher has approved all of the equations filled out on the chart. Once you have finished that step, I'm going to give you your second star and you're ready to start programming. Okay, so those are the first 2 steps that have to be done. When you're done with your project, you're going to turn in a printout of the picture and lines of programming using the TI Connect software. I have instructions on how to do that. Your hand-drawn picture on your graph paper, your handwritten chart of equations as they appear in the program, and the grading rubric. Don't lose all that. Okay, here's a couple other things I want to point out. Connecting parabola examples. Remember, I told you guys parabolas look like this, and parabolas look like this. Okay? If you connect 2 parabolas together, they look like that. Parabolas don't do this. Parabolas don't do this. They won't go up at an angle. They won't go down at an angle. You can't do any of that. So don't even put these in your picture. These won't work. Parabolas don't do that. Another thing parabolas don't do, they don't make a U shape, either opening up or opening down. They're always going out. They're always extending out. Use your underlays to make your parabolas on your hand drawing. Okay? Shading parabola example. Here are some examples if you want to plug that into your graphing calculator. See what happens. I turned on the axis. See how I turned the axis back on? That will help you with your domain restrictions. I highly recommend you leave your axes turned on while programming. Okay, if your functions graph properly but the shading is missing, you entered your functions wrong. The lower function goes in first, followed by the upper function. Here's just some examples of the different types of shading. Tweaking your program, you're going to have to go back and adjust some things. This is all in your program packet. And when deciding on a picture to draw, remember to keep it simple. You'll be a much happier computer programmer. Bye guys, good luck with this.